Hi everyone, my name is Erica Looney and I'm a parishioner here at Our Lady of the Holy Rosary Catholic Church. And I'm going to give a reflection on today's Gospel, which comes from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 14, verses 22 to 36. Then he made the disciples get into the boat and proceed him to the other side, while he dismissed the crowds. After doing so, he went up on the mountain by himself to pray. When it was evening, he was there alone. Meanwhile, the boat, already a few miles offshore, was being tossed about by the waves, for the wind was against it. During the fourth watch of the night, he came toward them, walking on the sea. When the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified. "It is a ghost," they said, and they cried out in fear. At once Jesus spoke to them. "Take courage, it is I. Do not be afraid." Peter said to him in reply, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." He said, "Come." Peter got out of the boat and began to walk on the water toward Jesus. But when he saw how strong the wind was, he became frightened and began to sink. He cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately Jesus stretched out his hand and caught him and said to him, "O you of little faith, why do you doubt?" After they got into the boat, the wind died down. Those who were in the boat did him homage, saying, "Truly you are the Son of God." After making the crossing, he came to a land at Gennesaret. When the men of that place recognized him, they sent word to all the surrounding country. People brought to him all those who were sick and begged him that they might touch only the tassel on his cloak, and as many as touched it were healed. So when I reflect on this gospel passage, it reminds me of some times that I've experienced darkness in my own life. And in the midst of that darkness, when I didn't have my eyes focused on Jesus, when I was looking around at all of the chaos and the drama, and in the midst of the storm, I wasn't focused on Jesus. So I was experiencing things like anxiety and depression and fear and doubt. But when I redirected my focus onto Jesus, he calmed all of those things. And just like when Peter and his disciples were in the boat in the midst of that storm, they were scared, they were frightened. They thought they saw a ghost. And Peter, I imagine Peter looking out and saying, "Wait, is that Jesus? That's Jesus. Like, I want to be with Jesus." So he says, "Jesus, call to me, and I'm going to come." And that's what he did. Jesus called out to Peter, and he said, "Come." And so Peter had all of this courage and strength because he was focused on Jesus. He was able to step out of the boat and walk on water. It was such a miracle what he was doing. But the minute that he lost focus and lost sight of Jesus and started focusing on the storm, fear and doubt crept in, and he started to sink. And he got scared and he cried out and he said, "Lord, save me." And Jesus, being such a good father that he is, he was right there to pick up Peter. And that's what Jesus does for us. He's there with us in the midst of the storm, just like he was with Peter. And he's just waiting for us to cry out to him when we are in need. And he's going to be there for us. He's going to pick us up. He's going to carry us to shelter. And he's going to take care of us. He's going to calm the storm around us. He may not change our circumstances, but he can change our heart. He can change how we react to what's going on, to the world around us, and to the things that are causing that storm. And so Peter wasn't alone in the storm, though. He had disciples along with him. And they witnessed what Jesus and Peter experienced together. They were there with Peter in the storm. And they witnessed him crying out to Jesus. And they witnessed Jesus saving him. And so when Jesus and Peter got back into the boat, they were able to exclaim that truly you are the Son of God. And their faith was strengthened. So not only were they able to walk through the storm with Peter and get to the other side of it, but now they can go and witness to others of this great miracle that just happened. And I think we're all called to do the same thing. We're called to walk with our friends and family, and sometimes people we don't even know, walk through troubled times with them, help them through the storm, and bring Jesus to them. Because sometimes we are so wrapped up in our emotions, we're so wrapped up in the midst of the storm that we can't see Jesus, who is right in front of us. And so Jesus uses other people to reach us. And so when we walk with each other through the storm, we can come out on the other side and we can witness to other people and strengthen their faith and help them to grow in love for Jesus. I want to encourage you to sit and pray with this scripture if you're going through something. God bless and have a great day.